What is going on, YouTube? We're working on another custom today, and today I'll be working on, oh yeah, a Hot Wheels Racing color change Kyle Petty Nascar. I actually really like the paint scheme on this. It's pretty cool. Hot Wheels released color changers in 1988. And they are now known today as color shifters. And as some of you probably know, the color shifters have nickel-plated axles, which pretty much make them the equivalent of FTE wheels. So kind of cool. I've always wondered if you could do a real paint job on one of these. So we're going to try it and see if we can make it happen today. Already drilled out the posts, so let's take it apart and see what it's all made of. Just a plastic body on a plastic base. Got the whole Nascar interior thing going on there. Pretty cool. Oh, and this is where you get the weight from. Check that out. A little metal piece in there to add some weight. And your standard base. I'm curious, without the weight, how much all this weighs. It can't be much. So let's find out. So without that metal base in there, we are only at 13.3 grams. Wow, this is ultra light. So like I was saying, if you were going to use this for some racing, you're going to need to add a ton of weight. Still kind of cool. It does have rubber wheels on there, and I can't tell if those are nickel-plated axles or not. I assume they are, but pretty cool. I'm curious if a real paint job is going to work on this thing. But first things first, we got to take these numbers off. The rest of the body is fine. We don't have to worry about any of the decals or anything, because that's kind of looks like it's ingrained into the plastic. It's all smooth. So the only thing we need to worry about is the number 45. Now I could do the old Sharpie trick and take off that number, but I think I'm just going to use some sandpaper and sand it down, since I'm going to have to scuff up the body anyway to put the paint on there. If I just put the paint on there the way it is, it's going to have a hard time sticking because the plastic is so smooth. And as you can see, it's just coming right off. It's what makes these color changers change color. Well, it is called thermochromism. Yes, I had to Google that. Pretty much, it's salts dissolving and pH balances and whatnot. So if you're that interested in it, you can find it on Google, and then you can let me know. Alright, well, took a little extra elbow grease, but I was able to get those numbers off there. I went a little too deep and went into the plastic, but should be able to cover that up with paint. I also went around the entire body and kind of scuffed it up a little bit, and hopefully it gives something for the paint to adhere to, and we don't have any runs or drips. Bad part about painting on plastic is you pretty much get one shot at it. If you screw up, it's hard to make paint corrections on plastic bodies. I used Krylon Color Max paint and primer for my base coat. I wanted to use a white primer on this one, as I was using Duplicolor Metal Cast Yellow for my primary color. This paint's typically intended to go over a metallic, kind of shiny surface, but I wanted to see what it looked like going over a white primer, and I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. All right, I got everything painted up, and I think it's time to put this car back together. I went over the glass with some flits and some glass coat gauzy agent, and I still can't get over how well this stuff works. Look at that. That almost looks like a real glass window. Very cool. It's the first time I used the gauzy on some of the painted material on the windows, and it worked out really well. Very happy with the glass coat gauzy agent. The interior, I just went over it with some flat black, and it came out really nice. The metal piece I'll keep in there just because that's how it came. And I didn't do anything to the base. Kept the original wheels just because they look kind of cool. And I think having those Goodyears on there will make it look a little bit more authentic. So with that said, let's get this all put back together. All right, it's all put back together. So let's see how it all turned out. Oh yeah, check this out. The number 19 Jeremy Mayfield Dodge Top Banana that he ran at the 2005 Budweiser Shootout. And I made this Dodge Intrepid into a Dodge Charger. Well, attempted to anyway. But pretty happy with how it came out. It's tough going working on these plastic bodies. There's not a whole lot of room for air. I did have a couple little cracks in some of the decals here. But overall, I think it turned out really well. And I think it goes to show that even on some of these plastic body cars, you can still put a nice little custom paint job on there. So pretty cool. Really happy with how it turned out. And let's go take a closer look. Here's what we started out with. A Kyle Petty Dodge Intrepid color changer Nascar, which already had a pretty sweet paint job on there, but I wanted to see what I could do with these plastic bodied NASCARs, and I'm real happy with the way this turned out. I think this is a pretty cool paint scheme. The Top Banana paint color was reintroduced by Dodge in 2006, and to advertise that, they painted up one of their NASCARs this way. I had a few of these plastic bodied NASCARs lying around, and I wanted to see what else I could do for them. So I painted them all up with a couple different paint colors, all going with the old Dodge paint schemes that they ran way back in the early 2000s. It was pretty fun working with these cars, a little different than your typical Hot Wheels. You gotta be a little bit careful drilling out the posts because it's all plastic. Yeah, I had a good time, and I think they all turned out pretty well. I did learn that if you do make some mistakes, some citrus strip can work on these plastic bodied cars, but it has to be on there for a very short time. So put it on there, have it do what it needs to do to the paint, and then get it off there. Otherwise it will damage the plastic. I'm sure some other paint removers will probably destroy the plastic altogether, but at least from what I was using, citrus strip did a pretty good job at it. So here's the thing about making custom NASCARs. There are so many die-cast NASCARs out there that you could probably find whatever paint scheme you're looking at, and you just go buy it. Unless you want to do something a little bit different with a different color type, different number, some different water slide decals, probably just go out there and buy one. Probably costs about the same as it is to customize it, but a lot funner doing it this way. Anyway, thank you for watching, and we will see you on the next one.